Okay, so we're going to look at Pathfund, and this is something that we've actually gone over before, but it's been something that y'all have been asking for, and actually something that has been on a lot of people's radar again to go back over. So there's some announcements that have come through there. As y'all know, all these are startups, and you look at them like I look at them if you want to, which is like investing in a brand new company. So there's a high level of risk, but at the same time, there might be some oversized reward opportunities that you wouldn't be able to get other places. As we know, cryptocurrency is very volatile, and these new cryptos are the volatileist. That's a word. You can mark that down. But just to familiarize yourself with kind of the competitive advantage of this crypto before we kind of get into the updates of it, it's a pre-audited cryptocurrency token launchpad, a decentralized consulting platform for ICO participants, experts, and investors. So this is something that we really haven't seen in the space. We cover a lot of new cryptos here on this channel, especially kind of in these late night updates. And most of them have a variety of different utilities like exchanges, or they will have tokenomics, or they will have a wallet or some sort of like ledger type competitor, almost at the same types of things that kind of SafeMoon has been known for and kind of pioneered. But this one in particular goes a little bit above and beyond that with the consulting platform for the ICOs. So ICOs is basically like the new crypto launch mechanism. So just think of an ICO like an IPO, just without all the regulatory approval. Now, the mental model with cryptocurrency is different than the equity markets, right? So if you're going to IPO with the equity markets, you have to bring in a hedge fund or some sort of third party bank to kind of fund this IPO. Then they get a certain share to take on that risk. Then a lot of people within the company get a large allocation of the portion of the company that's going to go public. This is different. This is a consulting platform to see those ICOs coming in crypto, and they don't have the same regulatory structure or regulatory requirements that like the equities markets do. This is kind of why you need something like this in the space to validate and to kind of look at something and kind of spell it out, because lots of these cryptos are new, or they would be an undoxed team, or they will just be kind of have an unproven track record. So this kind of jumps in and helps facilitate kind of that IPO process. So you buy it on Pancake Swap, which is very, very similar to how you would buy lots of other altcoins like Dogecoin or SafeMoon or Shiba Inu, which has kind of been a lot in the headlines recently. And some of the tokenomics within this crypto specifically for this coin is a total tax of 9%, sustaining the projects and rewarding holders. The 9%, we've seen a lot of different variations of this. We've seen like 4%, we've seen 5%, 10%, some even up to 25%. I know my buddy Tyler has actually covered something that was 24, 25%. That was something that I'm pretty sure he did not take a position in, but this 9% is starting to be kind of standard. And the different ways that they break it down is something that you see the variety in the different cryptos. So 3% of these are redistributed to the holders, almost like reflections. Think of that as like some sort of like passive rewards for holding. And that takes the, I wouldn't say liability, but that basically takes the volatility out of new cryptos during the startup phase, right? Because you're going to see a lot of ups and downs with the price, a lot of swing trading, but when they have this 9% tax, it doesn't become kind of economically viable to actually sell it until you get to a 9% appreciation from where you bought in. So it really kind of levels it out during the takeoff stage. And then once it kind of gets up and going, the theory is that the volatility would be taken out because you have more holders into the crypto already, and then you wouldn't really necessarily need that tax to kind of level out the volatility at the beginning. But you're going to have that tax no matter what. And like I said, it's becoming more and more popular, as y'all know. 3% added to the liquidity pool, which will go back into the LP. 3% added to the funding wallet. So it's a decentralized launch pad. They have identified the key issues that serious projects are facing at launch due to the increasing number of scam tokens. And there's been plenty of those, as we all know, which is why you have to be extra careful. One that we've highlighted kind of on this channel over and over again was Refinable. As we know, a lot of people were excited about that. I was excited about that. That was a huge NFT play. That was something that there was not a great NFT marketplace. They had that Binance partnership, even though it was kind of like a shadowy partnership. They had that Binance partnership. And then they they launched, and their 0.003 cents or whatever it was, I forgot by now, it was something like that, went automatically to $5 and $9, which is just something that you could hold it probably for the next 100 to maybe 500 years and still never get that $500 to or $5 to $9 per token on that. So that was kind of a disaster, and a lot of people thought that was kind of a scam due to that. So this project would have basically claimed that it would have kind of identified at least some of the key issues that were apparent before Refinable launched. Pathfund aims to be trusted launchpad, which also sponsors the projects it launches with funds for marketing campaigns. Projects would be verified and audited thoroughly in order to ensure the buyer's safety. Once a project passes all the verifications, it would then get launched and receive funds from Pathfund to ensure steady growth. So it's almost like a venture company too, to actually invest in these cryptos, which is actually very, very smart. I think this is one of the kind of more clever entries into the kind of new crypto market that we've seen. So let's get to some of the updates, and we're just going to call these kind of updates 2.0 for a while. And this is going to come from the kind of Twitter specifically. So there's the little bio. We have seen the followers kind of grow exponentially, and that usually has a high correlation to the people actually buying in to the crypto too. So it's a little bit of a metric that I look at to kind of see the groundswell, kind of see who's interested, and that thinking that there would be the people that would buy in, or at least kind of reinvest. So it goes live with 4 spots on Wednesday, right after the staking and tiers presentation. They'll be having another AMA with this time with 4 spots. So the AMAs are something that, as y'all know, they don't have to be done. There is no regulation kind of in this space, but AMAs have become really, really popular. It's actually become kind of an event, right? A lot of people live stream the AMAs. Lots of people look forward to them because that is just a way to keep the community informed and also really, really engaged. So this is the Pathfund and the 4 spots partnership live on Twitch, and it's all kind of done in UTC time, which is London time. Looking forward to it. And then there's a couple retweeting there too. They have a Japanese ambassador, so they're really kind of trying to be the first crypto to open up lots of these other markets within a kind of a small amount of time. We can actually look at some of these updates that I've written out right here. It's looking to tap into various markets across the globe in the Arabic, Chinese, Indonesia, and Japanese markets. Is also working to list Path, which is the kind of the call letters for this crypto, on various exchanges one by one, so every country will have access to their token and will be available for its benefits. So that is something that you usually see done through exchanges, but they're trying to go directly to it and open up these things themselves. There's lots of tokens not just coming out of, and cryptos not just coming out of America, right? We've seen a ton of them coming from Latin American countries, which are some of the early adopters of crypto. We've seen lots of them coming from some of the Asian countries. We've highlighted some of those on our channel too. Other than English, the website is now translated and made available in Arabic and Japanese as well, which implies that the Pathfund has already started taking steps towards extending its reach to different markets. More translations in other languages will soon be available. And like we touched on earlier, it's probably the first token that kind of we have covered, at least, that will be in so many different markets at a young stage. And that really opens up the amount of people that are potentially going to be able to adopt and jump into this crypto. The promotion, marketing, and traffic generated by each such market can mean exponential growth in the coming days. Pathfund is already working on facilitating the access to respective users of every market and community. The team also released Path Track this week, which is a calculator known for looking at the reflections of the tokenomics. So this is pretty cool, right? So you can kind of have a simulation of, if I have this amount, this amount invested, this is how many reflections and when I can see X amount return. So it's kind of like a cash on cash return or ROI calculator. This means that no longer you have to take screenshots of your wallet and calculate your reflections in USD. This is all done automatically now, and it's at track.pathfund.net, and you can insert the wallet address to begin the process. It'll automatically calculate reflections for you, and you can view them in both USD and in the actually native crypto at the same time. It operates by collecting information available on BSC Scan, which is something that we like, and we have seen BSC Scan to really be one of the main places to go for like very reliable information. It's been very consistent. A sneak peek at Pathfund's project prototype was made available to the public. This means that Pathfund will soon be revamping their website and upgrading it with 3 cool products on display, which were seen in the prototype. And that kind of came from the AMA right there, and that's something that you can watch. They have it categorized on Twitch that you can go back and check that out. Pathfund is their prime product, which will mitigate chances of the ICO, IDO scams while ensuring steady growth of potential and legitimate projects by sponsoring and mentoring them. So not only are they looking at these projects and giving their stamp of approval for them, they're also sinking their own money into it as well, which is kind of the best vote of confidence you could get for something like this. And then some of the other things that they have been highlighting right there is they have a lot of community appreciation rewards going, and have really been interacting with their community more and more, not only through their Twitter, but like we said, through the updates too with their AMAs. It takes the first spot in the biggest gainers category on coin market cap, which is huge. I mean, that's amazing to see, and you can see the percentage that in the 24 hours the gain was, and this was from July 16th, and it was a 5,000%. So I can't even do that mental math in my head, but $10 there would be, I don't know, what is that? $500, something like that, maybe even more, maybe $5,000. Today, Pathfund takes the first spot in the biggest gainer category again, so it's done that multiple times as well, because it really has a unique business model that is just really kind of resonating with people. They have a kind of a price tracker on here, which is pretty interesting. You've seen people like me and people on Reddit do kind of like an investigation into why there's been certain wobbles or dips in certain cryptos prices at certain times, and they're highlighting it and they're kind of investigating it themselves, which is good because they have a little more back-end metrics than someone like you and I were. Today, there's been maintenance worked on, performed by XT. Apparently, there's a bug affecting Pathfund's price. This is all just a visual bug in the CMC Trust Wallet. As we know, Trust Wallets had some major issues, which is why people like SafeMoon are upset and doing their own wallet. So they're really pitching themselves to be the anti-rug pull cryptocurrency. And I like to report on kind of like hard and soft news, if you will. And I know that there's a lot of things talking to this team that kind of we were just talking behind the scenes because we ask them a lot of questions and they provide a lot of updates for us that they haven't put out in Twitter yet. So there's a lot of things coming kind of down the pipeline, or at least from what they say and what they assured us, that there's going to be a lot coming, more so than they have really even mentioned yet. Can't say much to that, trying to kind of skate around it a little bit, but this is something that I think they're really excited to launch a couple more iterations and a couple more things to really build out the ecosystem. And then the last main thing is purchasing $50 USD in the USD fiat worth of Path on PancakeSwap for a chance to win $250 in return. Every $50 spent means one entry ticket. So 5 random winners will be picked from each 50 contestants, which is a pretty good odds there, and it's just kind of a reward for buying in. So that is something that wanted to cover again, since y'all have been kind of asking for it. Just a few of these new cryptos have we even touched on a second time, but this one has definitely made the cut. I like it. I believe this was something that when it first came out, I took a position in it when it first came out. I'll have to check exactly when I bought into it, but I just think it's an interesting, new, unique twist of a new crypto. Lots of cryptos come out that like I said, that we cover, and they're just a crypto for crypto's sake. There's no utility in it. There's nothing necessarily special, but this one is really addressing a big concern, trust and security, and that's going to be a concern in the crypto space for a very long time coming, and they're seeking to address that. All right, thanks for watching. We'll be back tomorrow with a couple more updates. I'm going to try to hit you with a morning and afternoon update, but realistically probably just be an afternoon one. All right, thanks.